Yeah, everybody. Coming at you with another exciting video. Well, semi-exciting. Today it's just going to be kind of a relaxing video. I've got a new grill. I'm always making grills all the time, and sometimes I think of these new features that I put into them, and on this new grill that I've made, I haven't tried it out yet. It's brand new, and there's a bunch of features on it that I may or may not use on this video. I don't know. But I'm going to make bacon, egg, and cheese croissants. Or it might be a croissant, which I'm not real sure. I have trouble pronouncing these things. But anyway, also, a friend of mine gave me a new kettle. It's a coffee kettle slash veggie steamer, and I'm going to try it out. So let's dig around in the backpack here and get the grill out, and I'm going to show you some of the highlights of it, and then we'll get to cooking some chow. Let's get to digging around in here in my backpack. We'll pull everything out and see what we've got here. Like I said, this is an all new grill that I have not used before. Brand spanking new. Even made a nice little bag for it. We're going to kind of look at it and go through what's in it. Let's see. I'll lay this over here against that tree. Alright. It's in a cotton bag here with a drawstring. Let's dig around and see what we got here. A couple of pieces of leather pot holders. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to talk about this here in a minute. Let's just pull the whole thing out. Set it down. And here's another little pack that goes inside it. Alright, let's see. Toss that to the side. Alright, this is just a cup. Double wall cup. Coffee cup. This is the kettle. It's a very, very ingenious new kettle. My friend Jason gave it to me. Brand new. I've never used it. I washed it out and that's all I've done to it. It's got a little pouring spout. It's got the little handles on it. It's got a lid. And it's got a strainer basket in it. That's what's cool. I've never seen that before. You can either put like vegetables in here, fill it up with water and put vegetables in here, steam it, or you can put like rice and steam it. Or what I'm going to do is you put coffee grounds, really coarse coffee grounds in here, and then fill the water up to the bottom of the level. And then as the water boils, it'll bubble up and touch the coffee grains. Okay, I got two little plates in here. I got a pan, real thick bottom, really nice pan. Here's the grill. Once I set it up, you're going to see a little bit more about it. And then I've got a bag full of odds and ends. I'm just going to dump all this out. Alright. And then once I get to setting it up, I'm going to show you more about what all this stuff is in here. Matter of fact, I'll probably bring you in just a little bit closer here so that you can see this stuff. I'm just going to get everything out on the table here. Whenever I make my bags, the regular bags are just a cotton bag with nothing in it. But whenever I have bags that I carry like things that can poke holes in them, I always line those bags with a heavy liner. It makes the bag last longer because I've poked holes into plain cotton bags before. Alright, let's set these to the side and I'll bring you down here and show you some of these what makes this grill a little bit different. Now the thing that makes this grill a little bit different is I have made some very, very heavy grills in the past with heavy wire, and what I've done with this is instead of using the big heavy wire or rod around the outside, what I've actually done is I've actually put double rods on it. Alright, and you're going to see in a minute when I set this thing up why I have done that. It's just kind of something that came to my mind. Now normally whenever I make these things, I'll have these rods right here, and when I put the you hear that? My dad's calling. Locomotive. Alright, back to where we were. And that was kind of funny. If you heard that ringtone of a train, that's my dad's ringtone. Well, anyway, with this grill right here now, normally on the tops of these things, it's got a blind hole so that the rods or legs won't go all the way through. But what I've done now is I have welded a stop on them. Now the reason that I did that is because all 4 of these have stops. So that what I can do is I can put these in and I can use these as legs for the grill. Okay, let me pull this up a little bit. I can use this as the legs for the grill. I can have all 4 of them that way. But if I'm up against a dugout or a wall or a pile of dirt, instead of putting these other 2 legs like this, I can put them like this and stab them into the side wall. Say I can stab them in this way and I can use the grill like this. So that's another one of the features. Alright. So the other features I'm going to have to show you once I get it put together. Now this pan right here, this was a pan that I found at a thrift store, and it's a it's a Faberware, and it's the thickest bottom pan I've ever seen in my life. And a lot of these cheap thin camping pans, they'll warp real bad over a campfire. And so what I did is I pulled out the little plastic handle and I made a little stainless steel thumb screw that goes in it. And then I made me a handle that's rather long. So it's like it's an extra long handle. That way you can, in case you ever don't want to use a grill, what you can do is you can just use it to, you can hold it over a fire and the handle will be a good long ways away from the fire. And see the little thumb screw right here, I've got it, I had to put an extension on it so that I could reach up here and turn it if I don't have a multi-tool. Just to see, you can hold it a long way away from a fire. Okay, so that's the pan that I've chose to put in here. I think I got another pan in my food bag, but I'm gonna set this grill up here. I'm gonna clear out a spot real quick and set it up. Show you some other things. Now it's been raining like crazy here lately, so everything is very extremely wet, but I'm gonna still pull all this pine straw back so that I can get down to where it's a reasonable amount of dirt. But all this stuff's pretty wet. So, alright, let's get this down to dirt here. Whoop. Alright, that ought to be pretty good for what we're going to do. Now, let's take this grill. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this leg in here. Slide this leg in here. Stick that in the ground. Take these other 2 legs. Put this in here. Put this in here. Alright, let's see. Let me move that over a little bit. Alright, I think this is going to work pretty good. Wait a minute, push that in too much. Oh, the leg fell off. Alright. I think that's going to work pretty good. Alright, now I got the grill set up. Now the idea behind these 2 things right here, let's see. Sometimes I bend these rods and I use them as tent stakes. And that'll be cool because what you can do is if you want to, and I'm probably going to use this later, is you can put this off to the side like that. And you can have a big pot, you can have a big pan over here, and if you've got another kettle, you can just kind of hang it off to the side right there. And it won't necessarily be in the way. Okay, because it's how you make a smaller grill act like a bigger grill. Okay, matter of fact, you could also, instead of sliding it between them things, you could also put it in here. Let's see. Nope, not like that. We'll just put it like that. And see, as long as you got over half of the pot on the grill, it's like you're extending it with very little. You're extending it with this. Alright. And then I'm going to show you, I'm going to get the food bag out, and then I'm going to show you the other little feature of these neat little clips right here. Alright, I got the old feed bag out here. Make a little bit of room here and see what we've got in it. Put some of this stuff over here out of the way. I got a table, but the table's not quite big enough. Alrighty, let's pull this out very gently. I'll open that up in a minute. And I have, alright, let's throw this over to you, back behind me. Alright, here's the other, there's the other little pot that I'm going to use. Well, I'm not going to use it, but what I'm going to show you about it. I got a little thing of olive oil, but I doubt I'm going to need it. I'm just going to set this over here. This is a bag of French sliced croissants. All natural. Made in Marietta, Georgia. Okay. Called La Petite France Bakery. Alright, square croissants. Let's see now. And I've got whole bean French vanilla coffee. Whole bean, okay? Not ground, and I'm going to show you why. That's another little trick. So let's unfold this gently. And in here I have, pull this out. Lay that on the ground. I like to have those things like these green mats because I'll wrap up food in them, and I can also use them to sit on or kneel on. Alright, let's unravel this mylar here. And we have 4 eggs, 2 pieces of cheese, a whole stick of butter, and some bacon. Alright. So, cram this back in the food bag. And we're pretty much going to get the fire going right after I show you the other little deep feature of this grill here. The other cool feature of this grill here, and it took a while to come up with this. Okay, and what these are is you can see how bizarre bent these things are. It's just little stainless rods. And it's got, one has a bigger bend and one has a smaller bend. Okay, now let's say in your normal camping realm, I'm probably going to, oh, this came from I think it's Self-Reliance Outfitters, if anybody asked. This is just a really super old pot. This came from the thrift store and I modified it myself. Now in the realm of normal cooking, like say for example if I'm going to have like oatmeal or grits, I'm going to have these two side by side, okay? But now, let's say that I'm going to cook a bigger meal, but I don't want to have a bigger grill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang these little jewels, or if I want anything closer to the fire, I'm going to hang these little jewels off to the side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to hang these two down here, or if I want to get them closer to the fire, and then I'll have my full grill space. Okay, that's another thing that I can do. And I can have the fire directly under here, and I can have the fire kind of moving around here, or just have, once I've got it down to coals, I can have the coals underneath. Okay, so it's just another neat little thing that I came up with, just another little feature on this grill that seems to be pretty handy. Alright. But I'm not gonna, I didn't bring anything to cook into this pot, so I'm not gonna be using these today, but I just wanted to show it to you. The way we're going to start this fire today is with a ferro rod. Alright, now a friend of mine had said, he made a comment on the last video that he had said that he noticed that I take about 6 strikes, 5 to 6 strikes, and that he likes to do his fires with 1 strike to try to conserve his ferro rod. Well, right off the bat, for one thing, let's say for example, let's see if I can get it in the camera. I have this huge ferro rod here that I keep in my machete pouch. that I've got to where I try to carry these huge 6-inch by 1/2-inch rods, you're not going to wear that out very fast. And another thing is, a lot of times in my pockets, let's see, like in my pants pockets, whenever, the reason I like these military pants is because I just fill these pockets up with all kinds of things. There's my saw. And like all these pockets, I'll have things like extra cordage and stuff, and then I'll throw in smaller ferro rods in there for in case I lose one, because, you know, really it doesn't take up much room. And see, that'll be like in my pants, and then like in my shirt pocket here, I'll have a ferro rod inside my shirt too. I always carry 3 ferro rods, all right? But now, getting back to the multiple strikes on a fire, multiple strikes with a fire, a lot of times I'm using, there's not a lot of dead dry grass out here, and it's like days like today, all this pine straw out here is wet, and it would take multiple strikes to get the pine straw to ignite. So half the time I just take wood and carve it, make feather sticks or shavings, and that's the reason why it takes multiple strikes. It's hard to get wood shavings with one strike. So what I did is I walked over to the lake and I managed to find some of this stuff right here, and I don't even know what it is. It's just a real fluffy type material, and this is what I'm going to start the fire with today. And I'm going to try to do it with one strike to show that, you know, if you have grass or some kind of dry fluffy material or cattail, yes, one strike and you can get it done. Okay, so let's give that a try, see how that works. I'm breaking up some small branches. I'm going to have them right here ready to sit over it. And the thing about these using dry grasses is that they flame up very extremely fast, so they'll go away quick. They ignite quick, but they go away quick. I'm going to take about half of these, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wad these up. I'm going to curl them around just like this. Alright, now let's set it right about here. Can you see it? Yeah. Alright, my ferro rod. Alright, let's see if I can do this in one strike. I don't even like this kind of striker here. Nope. There you go. See how fast that stuff flames up? So what I'm doing now is I'm putting all this small stuff on here, trying to get it going. You got to work fast with this stuff. I got some here that I've batoned up. I'm hoping that they'll catch on pretty quick. See, once I get that fire going, I'll scoot it up under there a little bit, and then we can start putting the bigger logs on it while I'm preparing everything else. Because it's kind of hard to work underneath the grill. Sometimes it's easier to, it's easier to work a fire and then scoot the fire over under the grill. Alright, I'm going to kind of let this go. I'm going to start moving some of the bigger wood over here. Alrighty. I'm going to let that get going, and then I'm going to We'll let it die down a little bit here in a minute. And then I'm going to scoot it over. See how well that fire is going? So I think what I'm going to do is it's going good enough. I hope I don't kill it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to slide it all over. So let's take a couple of sticks here. Slide it over without knocking the grill down. Now see, the fire's still going. Just kind of moving it over. Kind of a sloppy way of doing things, but it works. Scoot that back. Scoot that in. Put maybe a couple more pieces on here. Okay. Let's see. Put that one in there. That's too long. Who knew a fire could just be so complicated? Alright, there you go. Okay, now that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave that like that. Now what we're going to talk about is let's talk about this little bag over here. Little bag right here. This little bag, oh, had the camera on something. Okay, now let's talk about this little bag right here. My mentors said that they could keep coffee fresher by having whole beans. Okay, so they had a very heavy canvas bag that they had made, and so I made one the other day. I've never had one, never tried one, and it's lined with a heavy material. It's Cordura. Okay. Now the idea behind this is what you want to do is you want to put the beans in the bag. So let's pour the beans in the bag. Alright, you want to fill it up with a good amount of beans, and you're going to fold the end over, and then you're going to beat them against a tree or a rock or something to smash them. So let's see if that works. Alright, I got my bag right here. I'm going to fold it up so I don't lose too many. And then I'm just going to beat on them. I got my beans all beaten in here. My bean beating bag. Alright, so let's pull this little jewel out. Let's see how this works. There you go. Now see, for the most part, it's very coarse. And what you can do is if you don't want fine shavings or fine coffee grounds in your coffee, just kind of shake it for a minute. Let's see what comes out the bottom. See? That's all that stuff that comes out the bottom. You just want the coarse stuff in there. Alright? But I don't care. I'm a real man. So what we're going to do now, let's fill this up with water so that we can get this on the fire. I got to get to cooking. Put some water in here. And I want to fill it up to just where it touches. Right there. Alright. Now for now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set this on the fire while I'm getting my bacon ready. And I'm going to leave the lid off for now because I want to see what it looks like. I want to put it directly over the fire there so that I can see as the water starts boiling. And then I'm going to kind of set it off to the side there while we're getting our bacon ready. Put another log on right there. Maybe another one here. Now to prepare for later on, when I'm going to move that off to the side, I'm going to go ahead and put this. I'm gonna put this off to the side. Right here. Just like that. Now see, I already hear it boiling. I think when it starts to boil, I may scoot it over to the side. Alright, let's start getting our bacon ready. I'm going to lay the bacon in there and I'm going to cook the bacon first. And then after I cook the bacon, I'm going to leave the grease in the pan and cook the eggs. Man, that smoke's terrible today. Alright. Good old bacon. Oh, that smoke's killing me. Lay that bacon in there. See how that cooks up. Right, scoot this back over to the fire. Let's scoot this little jewel over here. Put this on here. I think that's going to work. Let's try that. Now we're just going to kind of let that cook. Alright. And then that's starting to sizzle now. The water still ain't boiling on that coffee pot yet. Flipping this over. I don't know why that ain't sticking. Maybe I should use that other thing. Let that cook a little longer. The bacon's about done, but the coffee's not boiling yet. It's got steam coming off of it. You can see that though. It's fixing to. I think the bacon's completely done. Man, I set up in just the wrong way where the smoke's in my eyes. Alright. These you over here to the table. Get this bacon out. I ain't even going to drain it. That way it'll be good and greasy. Now I'm going to pour a little bit of this here out. Let's ease you back over here to the fire. I'm going to pour just a little bit of this out because I don't want all of it in there. Not to mention the grill's not level. Alright, let's set that right there. Put us a couple of eggs in there. Make sure you're getting it all in the picture. I'm just going to use 2 eggs. Because I got more bacon and I got 2 more eggs in case I want to use them. Oh yeah. Hey, getting all that bacon grease mixed all in with it. Well, it's almost too hot. Dang, my handle idea didn't work out that great. The handle's still getting hot out here. I'm gonna have to use some leather on it. Now, as soon as that coffee starts brewing, I think it's only got to brew. It's only got a bubble there for less than 5 minutes. And we'll see how it turns out. Maybe the sandwich will be ready by the time the coffee's ready. I'll let that thicken up there for a minute. See if I can flip that egg over without screwing it up. There you go. It's just what I wanted. That way it'll sit right on that sandwich. I ain't gonna put no more wood underneath where the eggs are because I kind of want that to die down, but it wouldn't hurt to have some more wood over here where the coffee is. Now the coffee beans are starting to get very wet, so I know it's bubbling into it, and that's a good thing because you don't want it to bubble over. And I believe the egg is done. Let's pull it up and take a look. Oh yeah. I'm gonna brown the other side a little bit. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up our, let's see. Oh, I probably need to lay some cheese on it. I'm gonna lay a piece of cheese on top of it now while it's still kind of warm. And then that way I can lay it on that croissant and butter it up real good. Let's just lay a piece of cheese on top. Let that cheese melt. Open these up. These are so good. Alright. Close that back up. As soon as that cheese starts to melt, I'm going to lay it and the bacon on this thing. This is a first time deal for me with this coffee pot, or a kettle. So, I guess it's working. Alright, let's ease up here for a minute. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the bacon on the thing. Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and take this off because the cheese is pretty melted. And I'm going to set it on the bun and set the bacon on top of it. Let's set this down here. We'll set that on there. And I'm going to put some of this bacon on it. Egg, bacon, and cheese. Now I'm going to put the lid on it. Oh no, I dropped a piece. And crush it together. And now what I'm going to do is put a little butter in the pan and kind of toast it up a little bit. I guess it's boiling, but it's not. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's not, it hasn't pushed the beans up, so maybe the water level is right. But with this thing right here, I'm just taking a titanium spoon, just kind of scraping around here. And see, that's what's good about having a stainless steel pan instead of a non-stick. You can just scrape it and it ain't gonna hurt a thing. So let's ease over here and grab some butter. Good old butter. Just can't beat it. Put a slab of that in there. And then throw the sandwich in. Whew, it's hot. Well, my idea with the handle didn't work out very good because the handle still gets hot even as long as it is. I wonder if this is hot. Dang, that's not hot. That's pretty neat. All right. Let's set this in here now, let it absorb some of this good old butter. Oh yeah! What the sandwich is going to do when I flip it over. If it'll stay in one piece. There we go. Move around a little bit of that butter down in the bottom. Put it over here. Give it a nice kind of a crunch to it. I'm still amazed. Man, I'm blown away. When I got that pot, I watched that kettle. I got that video Dave Canterbury did, and he said in the bales ain't even hot. I was like, yeah, right. And they're not. Man, that's amazing. I'm impressed. Alright, we're fixing to chow down. Yum, yum. Man, I love this stuff. There wouldn't have been room to make two at one time, but I've got 2 more eggs, more cheese, and more bacon, so I can make another one if I'm really hungry. I probably won't be, though. Now, I moved over here to the other side where I'm out of the smoke. So let's see if I can get this off the fire. Let's see. See if I can pick this up and put it on my plate. There you go. That's awful buttery. I think I may just set that directly on the grill and toast it for a minute. Seize you down here just for a minute, just to kiss that butter a little bit. Take it off. Let's just set that right there. I think that'll toast it up a lot better. That's the beauty of having a stainless steel grill. Now, if you're ever going to cook meat on a grill like this, bring a raw potato, and as soon as the grill gets hot, rub the top of it down with a raw potato, and your steaks or pork chops or whatever won't stick. Oh yeah! Woo, look at that butter bubbling. That's what I like. Just a real quick toast on each side. Man, that's going to be so good. Now, them coffee beans are soaking wet, so I'm going to have to assume that they're done. Let that cool for a minute. Bacon, egg, and cheese croissant. That is some good eating. Alright, we're fixing to see how the coffee's doing. Well, let's just see now. Why wait? I got that from the Smoky Mountain gift shop. Alright, let's see how this does. Poured clear to me. That smells good. Oh man, it smells so good. Right, getting about time to eat. Good at it. A meal fit for a king out in the woods. Ain't that neat? Now while that stuff's cooling off just a little bit, I thought of one thing real quick that I wanted to show real quick on this machete. Where are you? Alright, on this Condor Bushcraft Parang, what I did is where the pocket is right here, I just clipped my Mora. And then I sewed together a band to hold the bottom steady. And that's how I attached the Mora to this. You can see how I sewed it on the back side. And then you can just take a ferro rod and back behind where this is, you can stuff it in there. Big ferro rod. Isn't that neat? So that's how I did that without a whole bunch of special modifications. And it's a cheap outfit. It's a cheap Parang, it's a cheap Mora. You got a ferro rod, everything you need is right there. Ain't that neat? That's neat too. Alright, I got my sandwich here, got my coffee here. The coffee's still pretty hot, but I'm gonna try to drink it. Moment of truth. It's easy up here where you can see me. Mmm. Oh! Oh man. That is delicious. Mmm. Oh man. This is just toasted to it. Just a buttery, crispy goodness. The egg's good, the bacon's good, the cheese is good. I love it. That's fantastic. Now let's try the coffee. Kind of hate to get the flavor out of my mouth. It's just right. Ain't too weak, ain't too strong. Man, that's alright. Took a lot more beans than I thought normal, but what I may do is I may put more water in it, put it back on the fire and let it come to a boil again and see if it makes even more coffee out of those beans. So, that's pretty cool. That's a neat way of doing things. I think I'm going to finish eating. And then we'll sign off. Oh man, that's some good coffee. That's a 8 o'clock bean French vanilla. I didn't think it'd be very good. My brother gave it to me. He bought it and didn't know it was whole bean. He didn't have a grinder. It was the only whole bean I had at the time, so I brought it to show you the bag and everything, how you can crush it up. So, I'm going to finish this. You could imagine that quarter stick of butter soaked into this and toasted, how good it is. Man, I wish y'all were here. Hope you had fun. I had fun, and I get to eat. And until the next one, stay safe, stay happy, get out in the woods, cook, sleep, hike, get in the woods. Fall's coming, it's time to go. And I shall see you in the next one. I know the video is technically over, but I'm down at the bottom of the coffee. Very little grounds in the bottom. Very, very little.